I wanted to record this to talk about why I play chess and how I reached 2000 ELO, but I will be talking about a lot of different things in between. And it will be most likely boring for most of y'all, but I'm doing this one for me. So if you feel like it's boring or not for you, you can just skip it, it's okay. But for those that want to stay to hear me out or maybe learn a few things because they're starting out in chess, you're welcome to stay. Now my chess journey started almost exactly 2 years ago, 9th of May 2024. I never really liked chess. It seemed like a very boring, nerdy game. Like you just move a bunch of pieces and think for like 20-30 minutes. What's the point of this, right? It was nonsense. And then my friend was like, yo, we gotta watch this Queen's Gambit. And I was like, I have no idea what chess is about. He said, it's a fun show. We watched it and I couldn't understand anything, obviously, but I know that she won in the end. Did she? Yeah, I think she did. He told me to download this app and play a couple of games. Maybe I'll like it. I played 3-4 games and I lost everything, like to 400 or 500 ELOs. I was very confused. I lost my mind. Like 500 is like the bottom of it. How am I losing these games? I got really mad, seriously. So I started to play a bit more and I kept losing. And I think it wasn't my love for chess, but my hate for losing that made me want to learn the game. So I started watching videos and streams of other chess players and how they're doing great, and I started to understand there's grandmasters, FIDE, blah blah, all these sorts of chess world stuff. And I started to get a bit interested. I landed on Daniel Naroditsky, the guy who mysteriously passed away. I would say I learned most of my knowledge from this guy. I spent unbelievable amount of times. I was watching videos for 6 hours a day at least for the first 3 months. And then I was playing 4 hours. And then I was doing puzzles for 2 more. That's about 10 to 12 hours every single day. And majority of the time I was watching Daniel Naroditsky. This guy was unbelievable. He gave a lot of great lessons that should not have been free, but he somehow decided to give it out there. And I learned how to play properly from this guy. Okay, I don't want to forget names. Before that, I did watch a couple of videos by Levy, Gotham Chess, to understand how the pieces operate. And I think my first opening, Vienna, I did take it from Levy. This guy is really good when you're starting out. Like, he explained it so smoothly. But to advance and to understand the game completely, I went to Daniel. So for me, this guy is probably one of the few chess grandmasters that I truly respect and I appreciate. And unfortunately, I will never get to meet him. I think the games that I play and the ELOs I gain, whatever I do in chess, kinda has his touch because I learned it from this guy. And hopefully I'm planning to go to 2500 ELO. Yeah, let's see what happens though. So while I was studying, I came across another guy, Eric Hansen of Chessbra. I learned Caro-Kann from him. That guy is amazing. He did a complete speed run. Caro-Kann versus everything. Up to this day, I reached 2000 ELO. I exclusively play Vienna and Caro-Kann. I ignored every other opening except for Sicilian defense because I watched a couple of Daniel videos and he explained a few lines where you can beat these guys and it worked. And the game that got me to 2000 ELO was exactly what I learned from this guy. I reached around 1700 ELO in the first 4 or 5 months of playing the game. I took it way too seriously. And when I reached that, I kind of slowed down because work came up, life got me really busy, so I had to focus on life and I was traveling and doing many things, so I stopped. I only played Bullet because it was fast. Whenever I was stressed or I needed to get away from the world, I would play a couple of games. Obviously not do so well because I was stuck. I spent the next year playing Bullet and like a couple of Blitz games, but I stopped. I didn't learn, I didn't improve, I just ignored it for the whole year. This is why in the title I said technically 1 year, because technically after 5 months I stopped learning, I stopped playing. And 1 year later, 3-4 months ago, I started playing chess, but I was not studying it. Up to last month, and that's when I started taking it seriously. Now I'm studying, I'm playing, and trying to improve. So I'm going to talk about how I reached 1000 ELO. So I started learning only 2 openings. One for white, which was Vienna, and one for black, which was Caro-Kann. I would exclusively play these 2 openings. I didn't want to have to spend a lot of time learning like 10 openings and suck at all of them. So I just learned these 2. Every game I would lose, I would go and analyze the game and see where I made a mistake. Like make sure every time I would lose a game, the game that comes after it, I don't make the same mistake. Because I was only playing 2 openings, it would be easier for me to spot my mistakes and fix it for the next games. And at the same time, I was spending hours every day doing puzzles. This really helped me have a great pattern recognition. I would spot tactics out of nowhere. Believe me, puzzles is like a boost. It's gonna get your ELO up in no time. It's boring, you're not gonna enjoy it much, but I promise you it works more than a lot of other things that you're doing now. So watching videos, understanding the game, and making sure that I make a little less amount of mistakes, I reached 1000. And that's when I got stuck. Like I noticed, it took me more than a couple of weeks. I would go up and then I would go down like 100 ELO. And I was really stressed out. I was tired. I wanted to give up. It happens to any chess player. When you get stuck, you feel like that's it. This is the end of the road for you. But it's not. There's always a few things you can fix that makes you go better. And once you get better, you're gonna have the same feeling over and over again until you actually do get better and reach whatever ELO you would like to achieve. So doing these basic things will get you to 1000. You don't have to get too deep in theory. Just focus on making less blunders and you're fine. And after I reached 1000 ELO, I started playing Rapid exclusively. I would play Blitz and Bullet, but not so much. It became a bit easier for me to understand the game. I learned a lot of different tricks from YouTube videos, up to 1500 at least, tricks that people post on YouTube. A lot of these tricks work and it will give you another boost. And I was also trying to understand what games I'm bad at. Because I had premium at the time, I would see which games I was losing. And whenever I look into that, I'd understand what my weakness is and I would try to fix it. Every day I would look at it. What percentage of games I lost to what opening. And this helped me pinpoint the issues that I had. And this was enough to reach around 1600. Of course, I played a lot of games and lost many of them. But doing all these things together helped me get it, cross 1600, and that was perfect for me. And after that, I stopped playing. Like I mentioned, I only played Bullet and I didn't get better. Like my Bullet was like 16, 17, 18. Like it was just dancing around. I couldn't get better because I simply had no more knowledge than what I learned before. One more thing I'd like to mention. I stopped playing Bullet completely. Because once you play Bullet, you can't focus. You can't play well. Whenever you get back to Rapid games, you're completely confused. You don't have the patience to wait a couple of minutes to understand what's happening there. And you would blunder because you want to play fast. So stop playing Bullet if you're trying to improve. Because if you play it, you're going to be stuck there. So don't make the same mistakes I made. And you're going to save a lot of time to improve much faster than me. And Bullet is like the reflection of your Rapid. If you're good at Rapid, you can learn speed and do well in Bullet. But if you don't have knowledge of the game, you will always make the same mistakes. Like I probably played like thousands of games and blundered the same position. You simply can't learn with Bullet. Although I did learn to play faster. And this year when I started playing Rapid, I was not better, but I was faster. So this did help me get more ELO because sometimes your opponents are very slow and Rapid, especially around 1700. You could actually win some of the games on time. My speed gave me another extra boost, but then I was stuck. 1800, I can't do it anymore. I went back and did exactly the same things I did before, but my study was more focused and intense because I will look at Eric Hansen playing the Caracan and try to imagine the position, try to focus on every move he made. Even whenever he made a mistake or inaccuracy, I would see how he was trying to adapt. You don't have to memorize. You need to learn how to adapt. It's not about the opening, at least up to 2000 ELO. It's about how you can adapt to your opponent. Whenever something is different or off, you can counter that. And I discovered that a lot of players are following book moves. Whenever you go out of main line or theory, your opponents get confused. And this is where I got another boost. Because whenever I was trying to put pressure on my opponent, play different moves, it would confuse them and make them blunder. Because they're not used to playing like that. And this alone will give you some extra ELOs. Because your opponents can't adapt. It's just how people learn chess. They take the theory and some basic things too seriously. But you can take advantage of that and have the upper hand. I'd like to mention the puzzles again. I've been doing puzzles the last few weeks. And it's incredible how it sharpens your eyes. You can see a lot of moves much faster. Your opponents, they're going to have to spend a lot of more time thinking because they're not used to it. So this is my chess journey. And it had a lot of up and downs. There's a lot of more stories to it that I would love to share sometime. But I think for now, this would be good. But for those of you watching who wanted to listen, appreciate that. Who wanted to learn, if you follow these things, I promise you're going to do much better in your next games. It's only hard to understand and play chess in the beginning. Once you get used to it, it becomes a lot easier. I hope everybody has a great rest of the day. See ya.